Do you ever get tired of playing the same old games? Are you looking for something fresh and exciting to sink your teeth into? Well, look no further because today, I've got a list of 10 of the most underrated single-player games that you've probably never heard of. So put down your controller and listen up because you're in for a treat.
Cave down here.
NFS tells people not to go too far in there. It's pretty dangerous. You're in it, aren't you?
It doesn't seem that dangerous. Whoa, whoa! Ah, no!
Henry!
Seriously, it's completely fine in here.
Damn it.
First up is a game that completely took me by surprise. Firewatch. As someone who's always on the lookout for new indie games, this one had me hooked from the start. It's a first-person mystery adventure game set in the Wyoming wilderness, and you play as a fire lookout named Henry. The game starts with a conversation between Henry and his supervisor Delilah, who is only ever heard over the radio. As you explore the wilderness and investigate strange occurrences, the relationship between Henry and Delilah develops. The story is gripping, the voice acting is top-notch, and the visuals are breathtaking.
What?
I'm out here and the wire is cut clean through.
Wait, you're already there? You're not in your tower?
No, I'm not.
Then who is?
For all you puzzle game enthusiasts out there, the Talos Principle is a game that will test your limits. The game is set in a mysterious world where you play as a robot named Talos, who's tasked with solving increasingly complex puzzles. The game's philosophical themes and storyline will leave you pondering long after the game is over. The game raises questions about the nature of consciousness, free will, and the meaning of life. The game's ending is particularly memorable and will leave you contemplating the game's themes for a long time.
You may go freely to all the worlds of my garden. But if the tower tempts you, be wise. Do not let yourself be misled by doubt. For it shall bring death and the end of your generations.
Inside is a game that I stumbled upon by chance, and I'm so glad I did. The game is a masterpiece in terms of storytelling and visual design. It's a 2D side-scroller that follows the journey of a young boy through a dystopian world. The game's emotional impact and thought-provoking themes will stay with you long after the game is over. The game is a visual masterpiece, with stunning graphics that tell a story in a way that only video games can. Next up is Oxenfree, a supernatural thriller that will keep you on the edge of your seat. The game takes place on an abandoned island, and you play as a teenage girl named Alex. The game's dialogue system is innovative, and your choices have a significant impact on the outcome of the game. The game's story is engaging, with a twist that will leave you stunned. The game's soundtrack is also noteworthy, with a mix of synth and rock music that adds to the game's eerie atmosphere.
Something's wrong. We've already done this. We can, talk through the radio waves to another timeline.
Alex, just whatever happens, just...
Transistor is a game that's both visually stunning and mechanically satisfying. You play as Red, a singer who's lost her voice, and you're on a mission to stop a mysterious organization. The game's combat system is unique, with a mix of real-time and turn-based elements. The game's story is also thought-provoking, with themes of identity, loss, and the nature of power. The game's visuals are stunning, with a blend of cyberpunk and Art Nouveau that creates a unique and memorable atmosphere. If you're into horror games, then Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice is a must-play. This game follows the story of a Celtic warrior named Senua, who's on a mission to save the soul of her dead lover. The game's portrayal of mental illness is both authentic and haunting, and the graphics are simply stunning. Senua's struggle with psychosis is portrayed through visual and audio hallucinations, making the player feel as if they're experiencing it themselves. The game is a true masterpiece that will stay with you long after you finish it.
Get up and fight. You're pathetic.
Control the fear. Let it pass through. Remember his words.
Tacoma is a game that's all about exploration and discovery. You play as an AI specialist named Amy, who's been sent to investigate a deserted space station. The game's graphics are beautiful, and the attention to detail is impressive. As you explore the station and interact with the crew's augmented reality recordings, the story of what happened on the station unfolds. The game's story is engaging, with themes of corporate greed, isolation, and the dangers of technology.
Personally, I'm happy for us.
Happy to be stuck up here with these people for another year.
Debris has...
48 hours of breathable air.
So we've got no air supply, no way to call for help.
Minnie, I'm headed in.
Need to figure out how to do everything we can to set this mission up for success.
I can't do it.
Where are we going?
Come on, just run as fast as you can!
Amicia de Rune and her young brother Hugo set out...
If you're looking for a game with an emotional punch, then A Plague Tale: Innocence is a must-play. The game takes place in 14th century France, and you play as Amicia, a young girl who's on a mission to protect her younger brother from the horrors of the Black Death. The game's graphics are stunning, with a mix of historical accuracy and supernatural horror. The game's story is both heartbreaking and uplifting, with themes of family, sacrifice, and the resilience of the human spirit.
Meanwhile, Hugo is afflicted by a mysterious sickness, driving Amicia to hunt for a cure. She must do whatever it takes to protect her little brother and survive in this harsh and hostile world. Though bold, Amicia...
What Remains of Edith Finch is a game that's hard to describe. It's a narrative-driven game that tells the story of a family cursed by tragedy. You play as Edith, the last surviving member of the Finch family, and you're on a mission to uncover the secrets of your ancestors. The game's creative storytelling, beautiful graphics, and haunting soundtrack will stay with you long after the game is over.
But something always felt wrong about the house. Coming back, I finally know what it is. There's just too much of it. But if you know anything about the Finch family, you know the stories have at least one thing in common. Someone always dies at the end.
Last but not least, Nier, Automata, is a game that has been overlooked by many gamers, but it is truly a gem. The game takes place in a post-apocalyptic world where humans have fled to the moon, leaving androids to fight the alien invaders on Earth. The game's combat system is fluid, and the storyline is complex and thought-provoking.
We are perpetually trapped in a never-ending spiral of life and death.
Perhaps we're not
So there you have it, my list of the 10 most underrated single-player games that you've probably never heard of. If you're looking for something new and exciting to play, I highly recommend checking out some of these games. Let me know in the comments if you played any of these games and what your thoughts are on them. And if you have any other underrated single-player games that you think I should check out, be sure to let me know. Thanks for watching, and happy gaming.